And now for our keynote speaker, we have Dr. Cheryl Crazy Bull, President and CEO of the American Indian College Fund. Welcome. Let's give her a warm Oglala welcome.
I said, you really can't give an Oglala guy the mic. Their storytelling narrative just clicks right in. That was really beautiful to hear the students, and I'm really happy to be able to share a few words with you because I think my words just are really in tune with theirs. I wanted to, so my Lakota name is Wachiampiwi. I'm Shichango Lakota. I thought, I told some of my friends I was going to go over to Oaknash, and I try to bring good weather, so you should thank me. Could be 95. Instead, we have really cool, beautiful weather, and I'm really thankful to be here with all of you. And I really appreciate being invited to share this very important day. I've been sharing with people that in August of this year, I will have worked in the tribal college movement since 1981. So I was 12. No, yeah. I got to work with the founders of Oglala Lakota College, the founders of Sinte Gleska College at the time, Sinte Gleska University, and on all of the tribal college movement. And one of the great joys of that is every graduation where we get to really look out at our graduates and give them our love and our appreciation. So I really thank you for sharing this day with me, and I congratulate you because I know that the work that you had to do to get to this place is hard work. And I know that while the Creator answers our prayers and gives us all the support that we need on our path, hard work is part of what gets us there. I want to just say a couple words about the privilege that I have of working at the American Indian College Fund. There are two organizations that serve the tribal colleges in the United States, the tribal colleges and universities. The American Indian Higher Education Consortium, of which Oglala Lakota College was a founding member, and the American Indian College Fund, which was created really so that we could bring more resources to the tribal colleges. And I'm really proud that this year the College Fund has given out over $20 million in scholarships to Native students. Really proud of that. And you know how come we can do that? Because of you. Because your stories are powerful, and we've learned how to tell those stories. We've learned how to listen to your voice and to be able to share those stories so that people give us the resources that we need so that we can have access to education. I've been invited to talk a lot lately because there's just so much going on in the world. We already know as Native people, we already know as Indian people how hard life can be. We have already had the experience of that. But in this country, that kind of is a cycle. It kind of ebbs and flows when people, sometimes they have a hard time, sometimes they don't. Well, right now in this country, there is great civil unrest. And there are really hard things happening in the Congress and with the current administration. So I always try to think, what are the words that I can share? Because we're scared of the consequences of these actions. We're worried about all the things that our people need in order to live good lives. We're worried about people having enough food, having housing, having access to health care, all of those kinds of things that are really the federal government's trust and treaty responsibility to us. Those things are at risk. So I've been talking to people about, what is happening? So I wanted to think back to when was the last time in the United States that we had such civil unrest. So we have always known what happens when there are militarized experiences. We already know what can happen with things. Our people gave their lives at places like Wounded Knee, sacrificed at Standing Rock, and were subjected really to some of the same experiences that we're seeing across the country now. You know what happened in the 60s and 70s when we had great civil unrest in the United States? We had an American Indian Renaissance. We had a movement where all of our people who had been in the shadows stepped into the light. They brought our ceremonies, our ways of living back out into the light for everybody to be part of. Our people looked to restoring our languages, taking over our education systems. As the late Floyd Westerman said, we told the BIA, we're not your Indian anymore. We took over on all of those kinds of things that were part of our lives before we had this contact that took so much of that away from us. So when I think about what's happening right now, I think we have that same renaissance at hand. We have, because of you, because of our graduates, because of your families, all of your children, because of your grandparents, we have that same renaissance in our hands. We can continue to restore our languages. We can fight for our land. We can continue to take over on these systems that are out there. That was the reason that tribal colleges were founded. They were founded not only so you could have a good life, take care of your family, have the resources that you need to do that, but so you could give back to your people. If you look back on the founding of the tribal colleges, that was all that they wanted, was for you to have a good life and for you to give back. And we have that. We have that ability to do that. We come out of the shadows all the time into the light, and we need to be ready for that. So I like to, so I've been offering people, being a Lakota woman, I have to have either 4 things or 7 things. And I always honor my late mentor, Lionel Bordeaux, by doing 4 or 7. So I'm going to give you 4 pieces of advice. And you heard these from our speakers, so it really makes me happy. I'm happy in my heart that your speakers and myself, President Frank, all of us, we're all aligned with this. And that means that we can help you bring your own knowledge and your own love for your people to bear. Wo Lakota, it is hard to be a Lakota person. The sacrifices that you have to make are many, but the joy that comes from that is powerful. As Laura shared, it's your superpower to be a Lakota, Dakota, to be any Native person. You have your superpower right there. I always tell people, well, Lakota is, for me, 2 things, courage and generosity. It takes great courage to be a Shechanga woman, get up and talk in front of all the Oglalas. Like, some of my encouragement comes from, I have a fan club here. So, I was saying to Don, I said people are introducing themselves by their relatives. I'm related to some Oglalas. My family, I'm related to the Hermans and the Whitings and the Vasus, directly, closely related to them. But I also have my fan club, my husband Red Prue and my brother Harold Compton standing in the back making rabbit ears with each other and jostling each other like they're both 10. So I feel Wo Lakota is courage, and you get that courage from your loved ones. You're fighting for their lives, really, in the work that you do. So I think of that, and I think generosity, and I think back to my late relative, Albert Whitehat, who always said, generosity, yeah, it's giving somebody some of your resources, but more than anything, it's giving them their time and your love. Giving them your time and your love, teaching and being with them when they need you. So when I think Wo Lakota, I think generosity and courage. Nake nula wa'um, be ready. When I was younger, I did not have the resources that I have now, and I had children. I was a single mother working full time, and I had to prepare for all of the ceremonial and celebration things and memorials that came up. And I always think back on being ready, getting ready way ahead of time. And that's what school is too. You know, you have to get ready, and I really agree with our speaker who shared, you know, that get up, go to class, do your work, you can get on the president's list. We're happy to have you do that. So nake nula wa'o, to be ready. That's really important. And then the kinship, I really, you know, as Laura shared also, it is about kinship. And I always think of the elders who shared with us, and now that I'm one of them, I share with you that our relatives, being a good relative is what it's about. But I also think, what does Midakuye Oyase mean? What does that really mean? It means we're one. We are related to each other, even those people who might be our enemies. We are one with the land. We are one with the sky, with all the animals and the plants. That is so powerful. That is so powerful that when people came here from other countries, they couldn't understand it and they tried to take it away from us. Because it's just so powerful. It can give you all the strength that you need for the work that you have to do. And then my last piece of advice, because I got, Lakota, Nake, Nula, Wa'o, and Midakuye Oyase. My last piece of advice is a lot more practical. Be good users of social media and the news. Right now, I thought, I should bring my phone up here to time my speech. Because, it's about the graduates, not about me. And I was going to bring it up there, and then I thought I might get distracted by seeing if you were posting about me on Facebook. And what I have seen is the power of disinformation. Disinformation put us in the place that we're in right now, where we're fighting for our financial resources, we're fighting for our trust and treaty obligations to be upheld. So information is really important, and it's modern times now. Modern times. So grandma and grandpa might not be on social media, but your grandkids are. And it's real important for you to know what that is and what's going on with that. I like to use it because I get pictures of prom, pictures of graduation, pictures of my grandkids, but I also recognize that it can be a toxic place and that there can be misinformation. So please, my fourth piece of advice, be good users of social media and of the news. Be a good steward of the news. We really need that. So who we are, has very deep roots in love. When I think about my childhood, I think about all my, my unchis and my kakas who were really always so happy to see us. Always so tender, touch our face. My grandma want me to sit on her lap. Fold up $1 into a little tiny piece and slip it into my hand. Our grandmas and, grandpas, they really love us. And I think about that today as a grandma and a great grandma. I really love our people. I love all of you. I want you to have the very best for yourself. We want you to be able to take good care of your families and to give back to our people. And we encourage that, and we really honor you and your families today, both for your sacrifice and for the joy of what we'll experience. Wopila, thank you.